Good day, everyone, and welcome to New Answers Podcast. We are a community of everyday people that provides solutions based on personal experience to everyday challenges. I'm your host, Gwendolyn Flynn, Gwen. Today's topic is filling the income gap, solar as a retirement strategy. And it may not be an everyday challenge. Some would argue that it's more of a life challenge. It's a challenge at any age, but especially as we get older. Early in life, we don't have a retirement plan. We don't even think about it much. And because it's too far in the future, right? But time creeps up on you, let me tell you, and we're living longer than we used to. And company pensions are a thing of the past. So unless you have a plan to become a millionaire by age 35 or so, you could struggle financially as the years go by. So on this episode, we're going to explore what you can do to fill the income gap and plan for retirement with someone who has that experience. My guest is Daryl Clark. Hi, Daryl.
Well, hello.
Daryl has a background in accounting and retirement planning, and she sees solar as a retirement strategy. Welcome, Daryl.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be here. It is just a joy to have this opportunity to do this because I think it's just, the way for one, now that we can communicate this way, you being all the way on one side of the country and then I'm on the other side of the country, and just the fact that we got a chance to meet and have this conversation. I'm glad that you're providing the platform for this message to go out, and all of the other things that you're able to convey to people using this. I think it's great that you've decided to do this. I think it's wonderful.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, and isn't technology great that we can do this?
It
Yes,
truly
we're on
is.
opposite
Mhm.
sides of the country, and we're
Yes.
still able to do this. So
Yes.
so talk to me about why solar.
Why solar?
Yeah.
Well, just to kind of say, for one, I just to get a little bit into my background. So
Okay.
background's accounting. And I decided to get into financial services because, I just realized that I preferred helping people. So I kind of, shifted to getting people to think about their household as a business and saying, hey, did your household make a profit this month? And kind of really saw how many people, because it's not something we're taught, how many people really don't look at the numbers, don't really, we just kind of go through life, and pay the bills and, you know, overspend and, kind of have it in our head. But, so getting into financial services and kind of being a baby boomer and kind of going along with the stages, say the ages and stages of baby boomers, realizing too that though people have been saving, um, I fast forward to COVID, ended up doing retirement planning and virtual appointments with state employees and some federal, like some university. But it was kind of really amazing to see that even state employees with pensions still have
Mhm.
income gaps,
Mhm.
because even with the various ways people have saved, whether that be in, they have a pension, but it might be like a 403b or 457. I call it the alphabet soup of the IRS retirement plans, right? But
Right.
people have those, but then I've seen people have long-term money sitting in like money market accounts, which is
Mm.
growing way below, the potential of it, and so that's too safe when you're looking long term. So just kind of after seeing all of that, and then I'll say too, what was pretty cool was that I had vision on my, I had on my vision board, I had solar on my vision board for years. And because
Oh,
I thought solar was a pretty cool science project, that is now available for us to take advantage of the sun, which is free, right? So I saw that like the sun is free, that makes sense. And I saw what was happening in other countries, how it was happening. So I said, that would be good to invest in. So that's really what I thought it was on my vision board for. But then in August, I got a chance to work with some guys that do solar and have been doing it for years, and they wanted somebody to pay attention to their database of clients that had been neglected, really. So I got in and got certified and got a chance to learn about it. And I said, whoa, when I saw it, I
Mhm.
said, wow, if people go solar and invest the difference of what's not going to the utility company, and if they were to put that into, say, a Roth IRA or something,
Mhm.
wow, that's going to help people fill their income gaps after I did some calculations.
Oh, that's how that happened. And
Yes.
would you agree that, because I kind of alluded to that in the introduction, with the notion that people don't think about retirement? I mean, you mentioned something about pensions, but usually people don't think, especially in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, they don't really think about it because they think it's like something off into the distance. It's
Mm-hmm.
far away. I don't need to, concern myself with that now because I've got a company that's going to pay whatever pensions. Although, like I said, that's becoming the day a thing of the
Mm-hmm.
past. So
Well,
yeah,
if I could share, I'd like to share my
sure.
screen to kind of show you what I mean and what I would like other people to really do. And this is an opportunity to really stress the importance of taking a look at where you are and what will that do for you.
Okay.
So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, can
All
see
right.
very well. Thank you.
So, that's what I just kind of want to address is the fact that this strategy, and I just really want to emphasize the fact that solar was not here for other generations to
Mhm.
take advantage of. And so this strategy is something that, is new. And I mean, the way it came to me is just kind of just fit based on my background because I've, kind of grew up with the buy term investor difference strategy. And so then to see now, and I'll show you what I mean, but that's just something I wanted to pause on. And then what I've been doing though is helping people take a look at all of the parts of their retirement circle. So people have these parts, but the difference in retirement planning that I want people to do is at no matter what age, and the earlier you do that, the better. How much will all of that equal if we were to convert everything that you have into one monthly payment? Because see, people say, yeah, I got a pension, I got Social Security is going to kick in, I got da. But then how much is that going to be? And say, even if you have like taxable retirement tax free, how much is that? How long is that going to last if you start withdrawing from that? So that's what it would help people to do earlier to see if, based on everything you're doing here, will that income gap be showing up in red because the things didn't add up to enough?
Exactly. And I'm hearing, we're in a different political climate at the time of this recording. And, there's a threat possibly to Social Security that people have been relying on. So, well, like, why do I need anything else? So, yeah,
And again, going back to, just realizing that it's very important with the climate. Really, it's been there all along. And if I was to say, my whole take on what's going on is because it's really forcing us to do what we were supposed to have been doing all along, which is to give our gifts. And those gifts can be given and you can monetize those gifts. Some folks have issue with that, but we're saying take your skills or what it is you love and now offer that, and that can be your income gap filler, because really that was what you were supposed to have been doing probably a long time ago. A lot of folks are sitting around and they know, they just have fear or just don't get started. So I think we're in a situation where we're being forced to kind of look within and see what is it that I could do. So this is what will help a person if they need to really get some more incentive is to schedule an appointment, whoever their advisor, if they have one. But I'm not saying just to meet with the full 3B person or just find out what your social security or just to have a pension meeting. I'm saying meet with someone that can calculate all of this, pull it all together and tell you how much is that going to be monthly. Also, how much do you need? What kind of lifestyle monthly amount? What is that monthly amount you need for your lifestyle, whether we want to call it retirement income or lifestyle income?
Mhm.
So yes, that's what I'm saying to do periodically throughout your 20s, 30s, 40s, because now you're seeing, it'll help you see what you should do to make sure you don't have a gap. And for those who do have a gap, that's what I'd like to talk about, how solar also can help you fill your gap.
Mhm. Yeah, see, that's very important information for us to really consider. And
Mm-hmm.
you're right. And I guess I mentioned in the introduction how we are living longer. And so you have to consider, the cost of living, the fact that we're living longer and our lifestyle. So what is it going to take for us to continue to live, that lifestyle that we've become used to into our, like I say, we're living longer in our 80s and 90s,
Yes, hundreds.
100s.
People are living
Yeah,
hundreds. That's becoming
exactly.
normal now.
Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what is funny to add to that, a lot of life insurance policies, whole life policies, were to age 100. So now they're starting to go to age 120 with certain, say, index universal life policies. So you can see, even life insurance policies, because what happens, at the end of that, if you're still living at age 100, then they send you a check for that amount, for the face amount of the policy. So yeah, people are living longer and more people are getting those checks, I guess, because, they're still here.
Exactly.
But then what I wanted to do is kind of now share why a person could consider solar as a business. And through what I found, this is now what I'm doing to help offer this opportunity to, for one, help people see that Build Network is helping people build their mindset, their business, and net worth. But it's also really offering that way to fill your income gap, that retirement income that's needed. People really should take a look at the fact that there's help needed to spread this word. So, why should a person build a business? Is for one, nobody's coming to save you. Say there's nobody gonna come to your rescue. And I also think people should build a business because they've been hearing it themselves that they should. And so they should finally take action on what they've been hearing inside all along.
Mhm.
And we're saying now that, entrepreneurship, it is a should now. It's no, it used to be a should, now it's a must. It's something that we must do versus something that people just said, okay, I might, or here and there, or I thought about it, but now, people have to really take action and look and see what it is they can do as an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Because
What
again,
is
this,
build? Yeah,
mhm.
I'm sorry. What is build? Is that an acronym for something or is that just
Yes,
network?
yes.
Okay.
Actually, BILL stands for Bill Your Last Downline.
Mm,
So, and I'll explain that as we get further on, but it is an opportunity for one, and I'll, kind of get into it. It's a direct sales opportunity, and it's a opportunity to also build an organization of people that can, like we say, add additional income, whether that be part-time or full, but to help spread this message and have people have another opportunity to become entrepreneurial. And maybe they just need the right vehicle for them. So looking at the fact that it is the type of economy we're in where people, the gig economy, people doing Uber, Airbnb, Etsy, Shopify. So it's that just people have woke up to the fact that they definitely need, we hear it all the time, people need to make more money. And, I know with me in accounting, the reason why I stopped wanting to do that as a job, because in accountants can definitely testify to the fact that accountants are overworked and underpaid. And everybody, and I'll tell you, so I used to be the first one there. Everybody come in. I didn't want to, I already made the coffee. I didn't did all that, right? Everybody come in. I see them come. I see them go, and I'm still there. And accountants don't get overtime pay. It's a salary, and it's just expected for you to do the job, whatever it takes. And it usually takes all of your time. And so no gig economy time, nothing to do. You didn't have time for a side because you're still working for the job. So that was something that I woke up to very, very quickly being an accountant, which kind of also shifted me into financial services too. So looking at solar as a retirement strategy, one of the things we're looking at with Bill is that it's offering an opportunity to be in 4 high ticket verticals. And you're having a brokerage in these verticals where, when we talk about a brokerage, a lot of times people think of, say, a real estate brokerage, where you have the broker who has the actual agency, and then a variety of agents are able to work out of that particular broker's office. And then that broker benefits from everyone they bring on board and train. So this is the same concept. However, though, it's pretty powerful because, for one, real estate, requires you to take a license and all of that. But everything we're in here requires no license. And we're helping people in the area of solar, water, alkaline water filtration systems, also in the area of security, and we have a smart money club. But I
So,
may,
so
go
Daryl,
ahead.
for those of us like me who are not in the accounting and don't have the kind of mindset as an economist, when you say 4 high ticket verticals,
Mhm.
what verticals do you mean? And what does that mean? Does that mean, you know, the kind of um, endeavor, enterprise that is on the rise? Is that what you mean? What is that?
No. So actually, these are the verticals. You could say industries or say the services.
Okay.
For high ticket meaning, high,
Revenue
um,
generating?
right, as far as the price, say of say real estate is a high ticket vertical, to be in that industry of home, being able to sell homes, so that's a high ticket. But this is solar, so this is a high ticket vertical where we're saying too, the commission that a person could earn is more than, say, some of the other avenues a person could take.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
So, mhm. And so what we're doing is looking at the essential services that a homeowner or business owner needs. And I also like to add, I like thinking about in case of emergency kind of situations, right? So, we've had so many different emergency type storms, disasters. And one of the things people are out of is power. That's one of the first things that goes, right, is our electricity. And that's something that solar allows us to now have our own powerhouse on our roof. We also can do, say, those that might want to do field installations or commercial installs where it might be ground mounts. Some people have farms or, so those kinds of things can be installed too. But just kind of looking at like a regular homeowner who, now would like to have that kind of protection. That's something that we are now partnering with Freedom Forever to be able to offer. So with Encore Solar and Freedom Forever are the #1 solar installers in the country. So this allows us to be able to help people see if they qualify for solar, which I'll get into a little later. But then this is one of the, say, high ticket verticals that we're able to help. So people who might want to help homeowners see if they qualify, there's some opportunity there for say those who might want to fill their income gap, this is really going to be something I really want them to pay attention to, because I was very excited to see it and have never seen anything like this before. So just to kind of focus in, on the solar, I kind of want to just talk a little bit about, this is such a new topic, say, especially more so when we come away from the West Coast, because again, California, thank you all for, being the pioneers once again, as far as solar is concerned, because, I will say that, based on what I'm about to show you, I believe most of the solar that's been installed, well, it's not, I don't have to say I believe, I know that most of the solar has been installed in California more than any other state. And so when we look at an industry and consider an opportunity, you want to see, really what's the size and the timing. So here we are saying in the United States, there's 130 million homes in our country. And then out of that 130 million, 90 million are eligible to go solar, meaning their house they have a south-facing roof. And also, no trees obstructing where the sun can, hit. We can do some trimming, but, of course, sometimes you have too many trees to trim. And so we want to make sure that it's a clear, where the sun, or clear roof where the sun can hit it like it needs to in the course of the day. But out of that 90 million, and this is pretty interesting to me, only 5 million have gone solar so far. So that means 85 million homes have not either heard it or heard it in the way that they would see the benefit of it. Because one of the things we do say, and I'll show you why, is that solar really is, really an IQ test, where I'll say it's not. It's really just kind of clear that either, it's beneficial to you based on the numbers. And I'll show you why I say that. So for one, people can cut their energy costs by 50% just by going solar. The other thing is that people can actually have a solar system added with no money out of pocket. So what we're saying is, take the same money that you're using to pay for your electricity right now, and now just switch the way you're paying for that. And so now you will have a connection fee to your utility company, which can be $20 or less. And then you're taking, say, the rest of that money, where if it was $300, $400 a month, now you're saying, okay, I'll pay my connection fee, but then the rest of that money will now go to pay for my own system. You can also add batteries. So now that you do have that blackout protection, where anytime there's a power outage, you will still have power in your home. And also, like I mentioned about that water, we are offering alkaline water. Well, now that's operated by electricity. So now even if there's a power outage, again, that's one of the big things. People go and load up on water, where you would still be able to have good quality water in your home because your electricity is still working. So every day the sun is generating, and what happens is, so the sun and the panels generate DC current. You remember DC and AC current in science, right? So the panels and the sun generate DC current. Then you have like inverters behind the panels that will convert that to AC current, which is what we use in the home. And so anytime that happens, when the energy's generated, it'll give you whatever you need. Like if you're using, running your dryer, or, washing clothes or whatever. So it'll give you the energy that you need, but then any extra will go back to the grid. And so one of the real cool things is that there are tax credits and state incentives where people can benefit. For one, tax credits, the federal tax credit is still in place, where if a person goes solar, then they can get 30% of that installation cost back in the form of a tax credit, which can be used to pay their tax liability or bill if they owe any taxes. And say if they do solar this year, then next year they can file its form 5695, which tax accountants know, but that person can now get, say, if it was a $30,000 installation, $9,000 would be their tax credit. And now if they have a $5,000 tax bill, the tax credit can pay that bill, and then you can roll over the tax credit to the next year and pay the next year's bill. So a lot of folks wonder if that's still available.
Yeah.
And then also each state, though, has different incentives. And, some states are really pro-green and really about the renewable energy. So like Maryland, and there's some things too people need to know. I will say Maryland offers various incentives, quite a bit of grants and additional funds for people to go solar. Also, like in Washington, D.C., some people are getting like $300 checks for like 10 years or so for the extra power that they give back to the grid, which can definitely fill a person's income gap. So there's just quite a few things that people aren't aware of, the benefits of why they should look and see if they qualify. Because the other big thing is too, which I'll show you, is the fact that they're gonna, okay, you had a question?
Before you leave that screen,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you may have answered this, but I wanted to kind of highlight this
Mm-hmm.
question about it being expensive to install initially. So you talk about the tax credits that could be available, that could be used, right, towards, on the back end of the installation. And then the various financing options, right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about that to help answer that question about the expense of installing solar.
Well, when people look at like the total cost of a system, you're looking at, and I'll show you, the difference in a couple of slides, but the fact that we're saying you're going to pay and just ask, how long will you pay for electricity? Right? So we're going to have an electric bill. This is if we don't go solar. We will always pay for electricity forever, some way we're paying, no matter if we're staying on our own, staying with someone, you know what I mean? It's always going to be an expense. So what we're looking at too is the various ways that you're doing it. You're taking, again, the same money that you're paying monthly, using that to pay for that expense of financing your system. So you do have the option to finance it. You can also do a lease, where people who don't benefit from the tax credit tend to find leases more attractive for them and financially, more beneficial. Of course, a person can also pay it outright, which also saves on, as far as how much you're paying in interest. So, and I'll show you too how that can work, where a person now has your payment is now fixed. So it's not going to go up anymore. Whereas, we always have increases as far as utility bills. They will announce, different utility companies will announce some quarterly. I believe y'all in California sometimes have quarterly increases because, of course, all of the reconstruction, so that people know, anytime things have to be rebuilt, like power lines and things have to be rebuilt in California because of the various weather events and things y'all have experienced. So who do you think has to pay for that, though? It's going to be the customers. So those rate increases are announced and sizable. And Northeast, again, I mentioned their rates are higher. So that's one thing, is looking at what does that look like? How much have you paid over time to the utility company?
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm going to show in a second.
Okay.
All right, well, then I will go ahead and show you that. So just kind of looking at an example of, say, here's a customer we had in Florida, and they're paying $410 a month before going solar. So now you see, going solar, they went to $290. So there's $120 in here difference that now they have available that they can do something else with. But the other point, though, is that and it's probably Florida Power or whatever the name of the utility is going to continually increase. So this $410 is going to go up. It's not fixed, it's going to increase. So just kind of looking at the fact that we're saying to go solar makes a whole lot of difference. For one, to lock in what you're paying for electricity to be the same amount, and then you have the option to even say pay this off sooner, and save interest that way. But then I also want to show, though, on the other side of what's being offered to help as far as that additional income I was talking about.
Right.
You see what the commission is to help this customer save this money. There's $8,200 commission being offered where we're getting 70% of the commission. 70% of the installation costs is being made available to those who are on our team explaining it. So you can see now when you're starting out as a mentee, where you just get the utility bill, which I'll show you, but just by getting a person's utility bill, we're able to pass that on to our mentor, who now is the expert. They'll show the person, what a actual solar design, like you see here on this person's roof, they'll lay that all out. We call that a solar savings report. And that person can get that report and now see whether to go solar or not. So just the question is, would you rather pay $290 or a $410 payment for electricity that's going to continue to increase, right? So, that's why we're saying, like I was saying, it's not an IQ test. It's really just, the numbers speak for it. And then the fact that we have a lot available to help a person go solar in the form of commission, that to me, this is like real estate commission, but it doesn't require a real estate license. So that's pretty powerful. And I think, a person getting $4,100 for just one transaction can do a lot for a person's retirement income, or to help people that are retired that still have student loan debt, and then you have those people too. So this can help them pay off their debt and also still leave, money available for their family. So that's just one example. This is a person in New Jersey. You can see where they went from $223 a month to $72 is their solar payment. So now they financed this for 25 years, but they don't have to take 25 years to pay for that. So this is the minimum amount they can pay. But with this kind of difference, they could double up and pay their system off sooner. But what's really amazing too is once they paid their system off, all they will have is what we call a grid or connection fee, connection to the grid. Here it's $6. So like in Virginia, it's $8. So I'm saying now I pay $8 to Dominion Energy. And once my solar system's paid off, all I pay for electricity is $8.
Wow. Quite a difference.
Yes. So here we're saying all along, we've been renting our energy. We've been renting. We now can own, just like we own our home, we can own our own power station, our own power plant, and it's clean energy.
Absolutely.
So now just to kind of bring this, make it real clear. This is showing you over a 30-year period. Again, we're going to pay for electricity all the time, forever, right? As long as we're here. They started out at $150. Just with a 6 to 8% increase in rates, by the time they get to 10 years, they're now at $300. So that's doubled, right? So when you go out now to 30 years, they're now paying $1,500. And I've heard of people paying this already now in California. Yeah. I don't know if you know people that have those kinds of rates, but yes, some folks have $1,500 bills now. So looking over that 30-year period, this person has paid $225,000 to their utility company.
Mm.
If they had gone solar, it would have been $54,000. That's $171,000 that we've been giving away, didn't have a choice. Like I said, the generations before us
Yeah.
didn't, that's all they could do. They we couldn't shop around for electricity like we do other things, you know? And so you just use whoever the provider is, but that's a lot of money. So me and my financial mind kind of say, wait a minute, what is this 171,000? What is that?
Mhm.
So I had to say, wait, that's what I mean about the go solar and invest the difference. This difference, 171,000 over 30 years is $5,700 average. That means that on average, of course, that's not what they had starting out, but I'm saying over the 30-year period, this averages out to be $475 a month that we were giving away because we didn't have a choice. If now people go solar and invest this difference of 475, they do that for 25 years, even at a conservative 6%, that's $331,000 that now they can have in their own, say, Roth IRA, because this should be tax free, because it's already keep it tax free.
Mhm.
And this should be going into like a Roth or something. Of course, you know, Roths limit how much you can put in them, but you can also do, say, like an index universal life insurance policy that can generate tax-free income also. There's other things that people can do. I mean, they can talk to their advisor, whoever their financial advisor, but I'm just saying, don't blow this money
Right.
because now the people I've seen that have the income gaps would love to have had this opportunity now with hindsight
Mhm.
to take advantage of going solar and invest in the difference. So that's why I'm recommending those who can should really see what this looks like and get a free solar report.
And how can certainly that money could be it's like throwing it away, but can be used for building wealth. You know, people are interested in not only their own retirement and you know investing in their lifestyle as they age, but also leaving a family legacy, right?
Exactly right. And that's the whole point. You know, people that have the income gaps, you know, with all of the appointments and the conversations I've had with them, that's one of the things they feel bad about is that they have an income gap and no legacy right now.
Yeah.
So that's why this, just even helping more people find out about this. So by helping others, you
Mm.
can still create that legacy because solar now, this is just something that has not been around and has not been anything as lucrative to be able to make up for lost time, so to speak, and still put that legacy in place for your family.
Mhm. Wow, that's really that's a lot of good information that I did not have before. So let me play devil's advocate for a minute now.
Mm-hmm.
What if you sell the property that you have installed these solar
Mm-hmm.
panels on?
Mm-hmm.
Um, how can you recoup that? Is it a, well, I'll just let you answer that.
Sure. Well, I mean, depending on how long it's been since it was installed, because that is a conversation that a lot of realtors, you know, which is why a lot of realtors are doing this now. We are reaching out to them. They're actually, you know, becoming involved because this can be an add-on to what they used to refer out. You know, they used to refer out, um, people would come to a realtor and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna do solar. It would be a solar installer that would be getting that referral from versus the now realtor can now be the one saying, I've sold you the home. Now we can also, when you're ready to do solar or water or security, be able to help them too. But just to back up to your question, and that's something that it's advisable for realtors to be and get this knowledge so that they can now help their clients understand the benefits of them having solar on the home, because it is something that will increase the value of the home. But say if people, because it's so new, you could find buyers that don't even know the value of having solar. So you got people now haven't heard what I'm sharing with you. And so I've heard of some realtors say some people don't even want a house with solar on it. Well, that's where, the realtor would be good for them to partner with someone as, and get solar consultants. So, or become a solar consultant. They have that green certification that they can do too. So that now they can help educate their buyer clients on the benefits of a home with solar, because now that home is now, energy efficient, and in the sense of, I should say, independent, where now they're not relying on, the utility company, and, the fact that there's savings there. So the value of that home, the market value of that home can be increased to recoup. But again, what I mean is, if a person bought the home and they just been in it a couple of years, which I've had one realtor tell me, one of her clients bought a townhome, put solar on it, and then didn't like the neighbors and wanted to move like in the next year. So in that situation,
Yeah.
that's a little different, where, it didn't have time to really increase the value. But in most cases, though, that's something for people to understand, that solar increases the value of the home, and it would be up to realtors to really help educate the public, because it's a new subject.
Mhm. That's good to know.
Hmm.
I'm glad I asked that question because, yeah,
Yeah, it was a great question.
circumstances, occur when,
Hmm.
they installed solar, then a few years later, they want to move. Hopefully they don't, like you buy homes, because you want to be there for a long period of time and let
Hmm.
the home build its equity. And so solar is just added value to that.
Hmm. Yep. And even if it isn't that person's home, that they might stay, they might say, okay, I'm gonna be here 10 years or whatever. There's still benefits. And again, it might be that the lease works out better.
Mhm.
So those are conversations to have, before getting the solar, which again, helps having that solar consultant to have that conversation, and for realtors to have, be able to talk to their clients about whether or not, how long they're going to be in it. And if then that would help decide, the best way to go if they did want to go solar. But another thing too is, when and again, California being the pioneers, when they first came out, there were different loans used that aren't used now. So, sometimes we've heard people talk about the fact that, hey, I had to pay my solar off before we could sell, and so those types of loans did exist. And, I won't get into the details of all of that now, but things have changed in that aspect too, where that is not necessarily the case, depending on the type of loan that was used when they got the solar system. But the type that we have, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Yeah. So things have improved in that sense too.
So how does one qualify for solar?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Yes, so that's a great question, because, it's really easier than people think. For one, it is based on your home, the location of your home. And as I said, you having south-facing roofs, but really the way we determine it is just by getting your utility bill. And so that's all we ask for, is a copy of your bill. We want the whole bill, because we do want to show people really, we're looking at your usage. And so this area you see where it's the graph that kind of shows each month what your kilowatt usage is. What we're doing is adding up like your 12 months usage to determine how many panels you're going to need. So that kind of tells, based on annual kilowatt usage, how many panels you'll need on your roof.
Mhm.
And then we are also looking at the various charges, because you can see there's different charges in here: generation, transmission, fuel, all of these other. And some of this is also helping, you'll see some of the charges actually helping your utility company go green. So we're paying for their solar. right? So we just ask that people can upload their bill right on the website here. You go to my site, which I'll provide that information at the end, but they can click get a quote, and then screen will come up where they can just put in their name, address information, and then upload a copy of their bill. And then we will get back to them and provide them with a solar energy report, which will let them know, what that looks like as far as, what would it be for them to go solar and what kind of savings.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
We've been talking primarily about residential
Mm-hmm.
home ownership. How about for those folks listening in this audience who have businesses? Are there commercial
Yes. Yes.
qualifications that need to be met? Okay.
It's the same thing. We start with the bill. So even for businesses, for commercial solar installations, all we need is a copy of their bill to get started. And then we will, again, connect with our experts, and that conversation can be had. What's great about it is, we're talking churches can go solar, schools. We're able to really install, whether that be in cities, schools, EV stations, the charging stations for, electric vehicles. We're able to install those.
Okay.
Also in a home too, but businesses that want to now add revenue and have, places where people can charge their cars. We can help them calculate even the benefit financially for them to do that. So yes, it is really wide open in the fact that we're able to do that in 50 states for commercial, 38 for residential, but it is an exciting time to be able to help, and it be new, it's still new. So I love being one that can bring a new conversation and one that is of value that will bring, more to people financially. So yes, businesses can benefit greatly.
That's good to know. Because there are some folks, I'm sure, in the audience who have businesses and own their, the commercial property and not lease it or whatever. So I know early on you had mentioned some other services for home business. Can you get into the specifics of those? I know you mentioned water, filtration system. Are there other services that you have available?
Yes, actually, the water, as we mentioned, we're able to help as we learn more about bottled water, and what's really the issues of bottled. We thought we were doing something good with the bottled water, but now the more that we learn, and also finding out how toxic the plastic is, and people are now they're finding now microplastics inside, so inside of people. So yes, bottled water, though, we were liking the fact that it was filtered and all, the plastic itself creates an issue. And we are helping people have alkaline water in their home, which it's all about having a better pH balance. I will say personally, I learned about this in caring for my father, who used to get dehydrated a lot, used to take him to the hospital. They put an IV in him, and he's like, oh, I feel better now. And so then around 2010, I was finding out about alkaline water, and we ended up, after my research, going ahead and getting an alkaline water machine. And I will say I never had to take my dad to the hospital anymore. I also have another friend of mine who, and of course, all of these things that people say as far as alkaline water, it's not scientifically, don't have the research to prove, but these are just personal testimonies where my friend drives like 30 minutes to periodically come get water from me. And if she's without it too long, her back pain returns. So there's just various things, like some people talk about acid reflux or the various things because it's reducing the acidity in the body. But again, it's just something, when we add to that, it is cleaning out the toxins, the filtration of it all, and then we're adding back the good part to the water. So We're doing that through Rain H2O, which is our exclusive alkaline water filtration system offered through Alcavita that they've produced for us. So we're very happy about that because I just know that this makes a big difference in our health. And I know personally how much better it made me feel. And so these are the various systems we have. This is one that will go underneath the counter. We have one that for people who are in apartments or condos, they can have right on the counter. Have a Clio shower that people love, where I'm hearing, more and more good things. People are just loving how much the Clio shower makes, their skin feel, and also not needing to use as much lotion as some folks say. And then we have a whole house system that right now is available in California and parts of Texas. We are looking to expand that as we develop more relationships with plumbers. So I will say it's good for plumbers to connect also, because this is another revenue stream for them even, just to kind of show to all the various ways that this can go.
Mhm.
So that kind of shows you that we have the solar system, the water, and then ADT is also, we want to be safe in our homes. So we also have this as a service that we're offering. And then what's new coming is Ripple Secure is a military grade portable security system. People can take with them. It's about the size of a modem. And it's cool because now, say if you go to an Airbnb or places away from home, you can take your security system with you, college, but it's putting a whole perimeter around like the home, and businesses also, right? Businesses too. But the difference is, say, where we have, the devices that will detect if somebody breaks breaks a door or a window. This will change or sound the alarm if the air pressure in the home changes. So even if somebody was coming through the roof of, say, like a business, once that changes, then that Ripple Secure will sound off to whoever you have it programmed to alarm. And so that's just something that I think is really cool. And I'm excited to be able to say that that's going to be something we can offer even internationally,
Mm.
which is pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
so that's coming. But those are our other services that we offer.
yeah. Where that security is concerned, I've heard on news reports of uh, burglars, especially in commercial buildings, coming in through like unconventional ways, like they're
Yes.
AC, right through the vent.
Yes. Exactly.
They
Exactly.
think
They
they have
have
to
some of
come
those
down through the
videos.
ceiling.
Yeah.
So
You
this
see
system
some of
will detect that, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly right.
Yeah. And then where the water is concerned, I mean, you hear about we as humans are made up of majority water, but I'm
Hmm.
just now learning about the difference between or how important it is to have alkaline versus because of acidity or whatever it is in the pH balance. And so
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
important to have that available and that option to be able to balance that out in our
Hmm.
system. We do need water, but it needs to be the right kind of water. Yeah.
One example of that I recall, and is a cartoon
Hmm.
of this fish standing beside like an aquarium,
Yeah.
and it's sick. It has a thermometer in its mouth, and it was just saying how, the pH got to be right for the fish, or the fish dies, right? So people who have aquariums, they got the little pH dropper, and that's the same thing. If you use that same dropper, test your water. If it turns orange or yellow, it's acidic. And that's bottled water. You can just get that same dropper and see if it turns purple though, that's alkaline. Green would be neutral, 7.0. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing when you just kind of think about the fact that yes, we are like fish in that we are mainly water too.
Hmm.
And then even to think our brain is mainly water.
Yeah.
So I even read where you could have toxic thoughts because you're too acidic.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes
That's
sense
kind
to
of
me.
deep, right? I
It
thought about
is.
that. I was like,
That is
hmm,
deep.
that might explain some stuff, right?
For sure. For sure. But the other thing is, so I've noticed too that if I, certain kind of bottled water, if I use that to water my house plants,
Mm-hmm.
they will die. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably because probably all living things probably need a certain pH balance in order for it to survive. So
Exactly right. And
yeah.
it and the other quote, don't tell me who said it. The other quote is that disease, it might be Dr. Sebi, disease cannot exist in an alkaline environment.
Oh, in an alkaline environment or acidic?
Disease exists in acidic environments.
Oh, existing in an acidic. Okay,
So
so
it cannot
it can
exist.
cannot exist in an alkaline.
And I believe it even, I'll just leave it there. I won't go any further with the details of that, but that's pretty much was disease
Yeah, yeah.
cannot exist in an alkaline environment.
Wow. Uh, I mean, that's enough to know to keep you out of the doctor's office in the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
This has been great information, Daryl. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing this expertise.
You're
I,
so welcome.
I've learned so much. Oh, you got a slide here with Warren Buffett.
Yeah, and then I just kind of wanted to wrap it up to kind of just show the actual amount available. I don't know how much time we have.
Go. We've got a couple minutes.
Okay, well, I'll go through this quickly just to say Warren Buffett really said that energy deregulation will be the largest transfer of wealth in history,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I see and understand now. This is what's going on right now as we look at renewable energy. And in fact, he's invested about $30 billion in renewable energy and about seven in solar. So just kind of seeing what is available and how a person can supplement their income. Okay. For one, this is showing you all of the different areas, the solar, the commission, that's average range $6,000 to $10,000 on just one solar install. If a person is now doing those on their own, of course, we start out where you're in training, you're splitting that amount. But even that amount is substantial for people to consider that was what they could make just by getting somebody's utility bill, right? And then looking at the water, you can see 1,000 to 2,100 is what a person could earn helping somebody get alkaline water in their home. And then you see the ADT security. Well, kind of looking at that, we're saying as far as them doing personal, we are getting 70% commission to help somebody go solar. And so then if an install is 10,000, the company is actually giving us 7,000 of that if we're doing our own sales. Again, your first three, you do that with a mentor, you're splitting it. So that would be $3,500 that person's making. But then they can do five of their own and then qualify to do their own personal sales and make the full 70%. But some people choose to just use the mentor. So then you just look at these amounts and you can do as many installs a month as you like. So you see here, if you do one, and it's $3,500 that you would receive, the mentor getting the other 35. And so if you do two, then that's a great $7,000 to supplement a person's retirement income. Now, this can be substantial. Again, this is saying when we said the high ticket vertical, you can
Yeah,
see why we mean high ticket. So now to get involved with us, it just is another mind-blowing thing that it's only $199 one time and then $99 a month to have a solar business, a water and a security business, among other things. All I want people to do is think about what it takes to open, say, a McDonald's or a real estate office if you want a real estate license and all those finances that are needed to be able to do that. So here we're saying you're able to do this. And as we show people, they're going to want to do it too. And once four people that you know have said that they want to do it, then you no longer have a monthly expense. That's something also attractive to people that are in looking for retirement ways to go, is that they don't have any monthly expense to do this business after you've done the 199, refer for, and pay no more. Pretty amazing. And just this is the best to me, is this column is showing you the monthly residuals available for being a builder, building a team. We build 2 teams. Once you have 10 on each team, you're getting $500 a month. That's without any sales. This isn't solar, no water. This is just you getting, they're sharing in that membership $99 a month amount. So this can be very attractive. You can see where now persons, as a result of them building, and then other people are building under them, right? You're able to move up. It could be $8,000 a month that you're getting, and no solar cells, no water, or anything has been done. So this is really attractive to someone who's looking to supplement their retirement income. So with that, I just want to kind of show what the overrides could look like. If you had 10 people, that's 6,300 in overrides. If you're doing your own, then if you do one and you had 10 folks do them, then together that's like $13,300. Or if you're still splitting them, then you would have gotten 3,500. You'd still get this override in about 10,000. So that's kind of just showing you the ways to get promoted and build your team and business, helping us share this information across the United States. I think is so powerful that we can do this virtually or we can do it locally, but people do need to see the opportunity to see if they qualify so they can save, and then also see if they can make their home energy efficient, but also energy independent and not rely on the grid. Because again, I don't know if you recall what happened to people in Texas in 2021, but 250 some people died, and even more than that when they really added them up. But yes, so 4 brokerages where we're doing residential, commercials, home security, and the water filtration. And that's what we're offering. And in order for a person to get in contact with me, I just wanted to show.
Good. I was going to ask you that. Yes.
Okay, well, here it is.
That's fantastic.
I didn't know how much time I wanted to get it in.
Oh, absolutely. Because this was good
Yes.
information, and I'm sure that folks who are listening to this and watching this will have some questions and will need to come back to you to get, their questions answered. But this has been helped me to help open my eyes and help me to warm up to solar.
Ah, very good. Very good. I'm glad.
And if you have connected in any way to the conversation that we have had, I really invite you to reach out to Daryl using this contact information that she's providing us. And I also want to hear from you. Tell us about what it is that you connected with in the comments in the space below. And subscribe, because more information like this will be coming your way. And if you subscribe, you'll get notices on any new episodes that are being uploaded. So thank you for watching and listening to this. I hope that you got a lot out of this about what you can do, the strategies that you can do for helping you through retirement, and solar is that strategy. So until next time, take care. I'm Gwen. We'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you for being here.